it's Kyle from the fan page for the Canadian International Auto Show. I'm here with a guest today. We're doing something a little bit different. I told you guys that we'll be doing an interview with Dave McClean. So Dave, it's great to have you here. I'm going to let Dave kind of explain what his role is at the Auto Show before we get into any kind of SEMA questions. So
yeah, well, thanks, Kyle. I'm the Director of Marketing for the Canadian International Auto Show, have been for the last 15 years. And every year the responsibilities change, but the primary goal is to get people excited about the event and get them excited about cars, and it's all happening starting February 12th, 2010, and this year's show is going to be more dynamic than ever before.
Cool. What kind of things can we expect to make it more dynamic than before?
Well, I think the manufacturers have all learned so much over the last year. They've learned more about the consumers and what the wants of consumers are in their particular products. So they're really, they probably have a stronger relationship or a more direct one-to-one relationship with their buyers than ever before. So I think you're going to see more personalized cars. I think you're going to see a lot of the accessories or the way that the cars are presented in a more personalized state than ever before.
Cool. Well, we're all looking forward to it. Dave actually got a great opportunity to go to SEMA, and for those of you who don't know what SEMA stands for,
it's the Specialty Equipment Market Association. It's one of the largest aftermarket shows in the world, and it's quite an extravaganza.
Very cool. So, your whole experience, you went down to the show, you checked a few things out. Can you give us a few kind of highlights of the show?
Well, you know, it's so you really have to approach this show different than any other event. First of all, it's a trade show. It's not a consumer show, so you have to be registered with the trade to get into this event. And then once you decide that you're going to attend SEMA, you really have to decide how you're going to approach attending the event, because there's more than 1 million square feet, and so you say, okay, do I start with just the tires building? And there you see everything available from manufacturers around the world in just tires. And you say, okay, well now I want to look at electronics, mobile electronics, and then you'll see everything that's available in the world from, in that category. So
yeah, 1 million square feet.
1 million square feet. And the car manufacturers have their presentation. I mean, they're GM and Honda and Hyundai and Ford. Ford had an incredible commitment to the SEMA event this year. So they want to connect with that market because they know how important that market is to their business.
Great. A lot of people, there has been a lot of buzz with Camaro, Challenger, and the American guys. So if we can just talk about the American guys for 1 second. You said Ford had quite a presence there. What did we see from the Americans? Was there anything that stood out for you, or?
Well, it was more the sport models. I mean, you don't take your an entry-level sedan and say, okay, here we're going to put it on display at SEMA. It's really your sport models.
Okay.
Like you said, whether it's a Challenger or it's a Camaro, depending on who the manufacturer is, they show these vehicles and how the aftermarket can be applied to their vehicles. And that's really the win for them. They're saying, hey, look at the diversity. Whether if you like ours as just as a stock model, that's great. But if you want to do this to our vehicle, you can do this and this and this and this. And with all of the aftermarket applications, you really see the sort of a full presentation of not only what that vehicle is as it's delivered from the manufacturer, but what that vehicle can be as it's delivered from the aftermarket. And that's really what SEMA shows the industry.
Very cool. So then what kind of person goes to a SEMA show?
It's an industry-type person. You'll see everything from manufacturers and aftermarket distributors to parts suppliers to electronics to it just touches the auto industry in such a broad way that you're in Vegas and just over 100,000 people are attracted to SEMA over the 4 or 5 days. So you're walking around in downtown Vegas, you're on a strip, and inevitably you bump into people that it's that big, it's that broad in terms of its reach.
Now, 1 million square feet. When I think of that, I didn't know the show was really that big. That's huge. Whereabouts in Las Vegas was this whole thing set up?
It's at the Las Vegas Convention Center. That's really, all the hotels have their own convention facilities, but really the one, I guess it's attached to the Hilton Hotel, but it's massive, and it's from building to building to building, but it's all connected. And the beauty about Vegas, especially in the first week of November, a lot of the show is outside, so it's like a fairground presentation, and they've got all kinds of different interactive features as well.
Okay. Now, we talked about the American guys. Did any imports stand out from the European market, the Japanese market, anywhere there?
The biggest push that I noticed this year was from the Korean market. It seemed every time I turned around, there were Korean manufacturers of this, whether it was tires or electronics or even solvents and cleaning agents, and then you get into some of the high-tech equipment. It just seemed that I noticed more and more suppliers coming from the Korean market. But of course, they're from all over the world.
And when you say, for those of us who don't know Korean market, what manufacturers are those exactly?
Well, I don't know. You know, I really don't know. I mean, it's just there's so many of them, and you have to remember that it comes from the small, you know, windshield wiper manufacturer that's sitting there in a 10 by 20 booth to a large electronics manufacturer that has, you know, 500 to 1,000 square feet and has a presentation of all their products. So it's everybody. I mean, the listing of manufacturers and equipment and products that are on display there is pages and pages and pages.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, and last question, coolest concept there.
Well, the
Pick a
coolest
favorite.
Yeah, it's tough for me to pick a favorite. Now, you know, even if we're, you know, in the form that we are, I really don't align with any one manufacturer.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that there were some cool cars, and they're always there, and there was no shortage of whether you call it sex appeal or just tech appeal at this year's SEMA show.
Awesome. Okay, well guys, that's going to wrap up our interview. Thanks for watching. Dave, thanks for coming by. You heard it from us. Remember, we're on Twitter, AutoShow Canada. Remember our Facebook fan page, the official Canadian International Auto Show. And definitely, guys, check out autoshow.ca. We'll talk to you soon when I do the recap. Take care, guys.